Hi everyone, this is Chris Becker, and today we're going to be doing an interview with Beidi. Right, Beidi?
Hello?
Hi, yes. And we're going to be talking about Luna the Shadow Dust. You're the art director and co-founder, correct?
Yes, in London studio.
And that is you guys brought this game out earlier in the year on PC.
Yes, on PC, also on Mac as well. Linux version is also available.
Oh, okay. So on Steam though, right? Is that where what is it can be
It is
found?
available on Steam, on GOG, also on Mac App Store.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So, is this the first game that you worked on?
Yes, as a team, four of us. This is our first game.
The first game, and what is it that can you just tell us a little bit about Luna, the Shadow Dust?
Sure, of course. Luna the Shadow Dust, it is a hand animated puzzle adventure game. It is like a picture book in motion. The story is about this boy. His name is Yuri, and his mysterious companion Leia. Two of them join to adventure and take on a journey into this broken magical world. It is also a story of finding back the courage and hope.
Yeah, and it does. It's all looks like it's all hand drawn.
Yes, the
Yeah.
background or the animation, they are all hand drawn, and we are using this frame by frame technique for the animation. Try to keep it in that kind of style.
And it looks gorgeous, I think. And
Thank you.
yeah, it just the way it looks, like it's very striking when you see it in motion. And what like how long did it take you to get the look of the game from when you started to how it ended up looking? Like did you go through any different styles, or was this always the style that you wanted to go with?
Well, in the beginning, we did experiment with some different style. But because I'm I'm the only artist on this. We don't have any other extra help, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's completely up to us. My team, they trust me, my choice very much. So I really appreciate them. They allow me to try a couple of style from the beginning. When we designed the characters, these two characters, we originally designed them slightly more realistic because I was heavily influenced by the style from Studio Ghibli. I'm a big fan. So in the beginning, the character, the humanoids, it's a bit like that. It's a bit more detailed, realistic proportion. But later on, we realized that we need to make this into a game. So there's a lot of sets for character animation that was required. So if the style is too realistic, it's gonna add a lot of workload for us. So we simplified it a little bit. The character proportion shrinked a bit, become a bit cuter, a bit more cartoon-like. But overall, we all really like the hand draw feel to it. You feel like it was drawn with pencil color and watercolor texture on top of it. So we pretty much decide on the style in the first half year, then we decide to stick with it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah, it looks, like I said, gorgeous. And was it always like a sort of like a point and click, like adventure game, or
In
did
the
you?
beginning, we we kind of decided it's gonna be a puzzle-based game, but whether we're gonna take the reference from point and click game or platform game, we are not sure yet. Because it's the first game for us to make, so we think it's better to stick with something we're familiar with and we all really like. So the genre we all really like, and it's easier for us to get our hands on is point and click, and a little bit of like I was a casual platform action. There's no much of a too much of an action in this game, so mainly It's based on the genre of point and click. Also, a tiny bit of mixture of those escape kind of game, escape the room.
Oh yeah, like an escape room. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite subtle. There's no too much of action, so the pace is slightly slow, more casual, bit more relaxing.
Like, when did you guys decide that you wanted to bring it to the Nintendo Switch?
When we first started our production back in early 2016, this platform, Nintendo Switch, they didn't even exist yet. So there's no way we know it's gonna be an option for us to port our game onto Nintendo Switch. We had a kind of plan to get it on console, probably on PS or Xbox. But we decided to focus on developing the PC version first. And if the production goes smoothly, and if we can complete the game, then we will think about porting it onto other platforms.
Oh yeah. So now it's coming out on the Nintendo Switch October 22nd. And
Right.
then so from there you might how was it difficult to bring it over to the Switch as opposed to like the mouse and keyboard?
It is, I would say it's not as straightforward as we or most of the people might think, that you just change a bit of a coding, then voila, it's on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
The reason being is, like the console type of game, Nintendo Switch, they still require to use joystick and the buttons. So it's a totally different kind of way of playing the game compared with you use a mouse to click on certain area on the screen. So in order to get this game ported onto a different platform, we need to change some of the mechanical design as well. Say, we have some feature, for example, on the PC version, if you hover up your mouse on top of certain object, you might see the cursor of the mouse change to different shape, to give you a hint on whether you can click on them, whether you can open this door, etc. But on the console version, there's no mouse, so we have to think about a different way to allow this feature still visible for the player. So we have to tweak some of the design for our game. Also, we have to think about, now there's a lot of button that people can click on. Not like mouse, you only have left and right 2 button. Now you
Right.
have a lot of button, also like the shoulder keys on the Nintendo Switch. So it's actually a lot easier for people to apply some action, for example, switch between the characters. Before, they have to move their mouse and click on the button on the screen, but now
Mhm.
they can just press the shoulder key. So some of the feature on the joystick make the control easier, but some of them we have to redesign it in order to capture the original game feeling.
Oh yeah. So it's it just gave you more options to work with the with the
Yes.
buttons.
We kind of did a bit of research into this. We want to see how does other games, like other point and click games, if they decide to port their game onto Nintendo Switch, what kind of approach do they choose? There are usually 2 different kind of approach. One is they will keep the mouse. They will have the cursor on the screen.
Mhm.
You use the joystick to move around it. This is one way of doing it, which is save loads of trouble of redesign the control for the player. But
Right.
we find that way it's a bit hideous, because the screen, imagine you use a joystick to control a very tiny cursor. It's a bit hard to be precise, to stop at where you want it to stop. So like your thumb gets very tiring after a while.
Right. Yeah.
So it's better to use the best on on whatever the platform offers, which is the combination of joystick and the button.
Oh, okay. So do you just use the left stick to move back and forth?
Yes. So mainly the joystick move the characters, and sometimes it helps to choose, like, say for example, you press a button, it highlights the selectable object around the character. Say there are 3 of them. Then you use the joystick to choose to lock on the one that you want to interact.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that
use
makes.
both your hand.
Oh, okay. And then there's also some games that just use the touch screen,
Yeah,
and
some
then
games they use touchscreen.
yeah. Um, and this one doesn't use touchscreen, right, on the Switch?
No, because we kind of want to encourage our player to use a bigger screen when they use the Nintendo Switch, because there's an option for them. And plus, our game has like the object you need to interact is quite precise, location wise.
Oh, okay,
So
yeah.
sometimes when you use your hand, use your finger to move around on the screen, you cover the object you need to click on. So we
Mhm.
realized that is might cause issue. So we discussed about whether we want to keep the touchscreen option on or not. But then we decide that if we already choose the approach of making this into a proper console game, then we may as well not keep that feature to confuse player.
Right, yeah. So then everyone's playing the same way.
Yes.
And for the did you do anything with the HD rumble in the game?
I don't think so, because the original game's graphic is quite high already, and so I think that's a bit more technical question that I may need to ask our developer to find out exactly. Yeah,
Right,
but
yeah.
in my knowledge, I don't think we did too much of uh, a graphic setting change.
Okay, yeah. And then the in terms of the soundtrack, who ended up doing the soundtrack for the game?
Our composer, her name is Susie. Her Chinese name is Wang Qian. You can call her Susie.
Okay.
She write and compose all the original soundtrack for the entire game.
Oh, okay. So did you did all of the art,
Yes, the
all the art
art,
in the game?
the animation, anything visual. So we kind of have one person in charge of one role. Like we have one artist, one music composer, one programmer, and a project manager. So 4 of us. And any other work that doesn't fit into our professional role, we just share the responsibility, like replying emails, taking interviews, write to press.
Oh, okay, yeah. Um, but so like I said, this game comes out on October 22nd for the Nintendo Switch. And is there any plans to bring it to the Xbox or PlayStation in the future?
Oh, I think that is the question we need to discuss with our publisher. And I
Okay.
think everyone wants to see if Nintendo Switch, how well does Luna go, whether people like to play this game on a console, and if it's have received some positive feedback, and if we have some extra budget, we would like to bring it on as many platforms as possible, but one at a time.
Yeah. Um, is there any plans for what your next game's going to be?
So far, we still have a lot of work to do for Luna. For example, that since the game's launch, we trying to design some merchandise for this game. One of the product we want to do is the physical art book of this game. This game has a digital art book which is available to purchase already, but because we have so many requests from our player and fans, they really like the art and they want to know more about the setting of the world. They want to know more about the tale of the story. This game is don't have any dialogue, so loads of things might seem obscure. So people want to know more, and we think it is a good opportunity to produce a physical art book so people can purchase. And we might run another Kickstarter campaign to crowdfund this book as well.
Oh, okay. And then before I let you go, is there anything else you want to say or mention about the game?
One thing which is a very surprise to us is we originally thought our audience of this game is gonna be like puzzle game lover, adventure game, point and click game fan, but we received a lot of messages from like young parents, and they happen to discover this game and play this game with their children. So that's why we have we're really looking forward for this Nintendo Switch version, because I know it's more like a family gaming console. So this game don't have any word, so children, family from all over the world without any background, knowledge, age barrier, they can all join this game together with their parents. So if you have any audience listening who have a young kids and themselves also love gaming, I highly recommend this game to them because I believe it's gonna be a great gaming experience.
Awesome. That's great. And that so it'll be out once again October 22nd for the Nintendo Switch. Thanks again for joining me on for the interview.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. And that's the end of the interview. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.